So it looks like Fortnite OG might actually be Fortnite OG. Don't worry, I will expand on what I mean by that, but regardless, Fortnite themselves actually announced the return of the double pump when OG Fortnite comes and drops in on December 6th. We're going to be talking about that today. We're going to take a look at Fortnite's tweet. I'm going to give my thoughts, and as always, guys, I would love to know what you think about this down below afterwards. Then we're going to take a look at a bunch of different replies to get a gauge on how people are feeling about this. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another video. If you are new here, my name is Kyle. I'm your guy with too many YouTube channels. Guys, let me bring you over to Fortnite. Fortnite OG Chapter 1 Season 1 presents the return of the double pump coming December 6th. Now, I love this like everybody else. I don't care that it's going to be OP. Something that I have been really wanting when it comes to Fortnite OG actually returning is I want it to feel like Fortnite OG. With the exception of one thing, and I understand if you're going to comment down below and be like, well, you can't just nitpick and pick what kind of OG stuff that you want. I get that, and you're not wrong in that. But the only thing that I really hope comes back with Fortnite OG is tactical sprint and mantling. I believe these two things are kind of a core to Fortnite now. I've played a bunch of creative maps where they don't have sprinting and the game feels so slow to the point where I personally don't want to play it anymore. And honestly, guys, if you're going to break that down and pick it apart and say, well, you don't actually want OG, I get it. I understand everybody who actually wants the game to feel like it did. I believe if Epic Games actually takes away tactical sprint and mantling, a lot of people will realize how much they actually miss it, how slow the game actually was. And I understand that it will feel OG, but again, this is something that has really benefited the game. The only other thing that I want them to change is I want zip lines for zero build, because of course there's going to be a ton of spots where you legitimately can't get to with zero build, especially when you talk about like Chapter 1, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Those are the only things I really hope they change, but other than that, the double pump returning is a really good sign. Fortnite themselves didn't say the OG pump model is going to come back, but leakers have been saying that. To be honest with you, I don't get it. I don't get why an old gun model, like, yeah, you know what? It's nostalgic. It is, but that's going to have no effect on how much I enjoy Fortnite OG. Because people look at, like, the old gun models returning and be like, oh yeah, we're so back, baby. The old pump shotguns here, like, as long as it works like the old pump, as long as you can double pump with it, then yes, that does feel like Fortnite OG. The gun model's always been a little bit weird to me. Yeah, it's nostalgic, but it has little to no effect, or literally no effect on how much I enjoy the game and how OG it feels to me. Now, what I will agree with everybody is if they decide to bring back the old sounds, that will feel incredibly nostalgic. That's something that I hope they do. The other thing is graphics. I hope they bring graphics back as well. Like, I want Fortnite OG, if they are doing this, I don't want it to feel like Fortnite OG in the sense where they brought it back, like the season titled Fortnite OG. I don't want a bunch of changes. I don't want mashups. I want this to feel like OG Fortnite Chapter 1 Season 1 with the 3 exceptions that I said, and I gave you a reason why. And again, I get it if you want to push back on that and say, well, you don't actually want OG. I understand it. I can't play this game without tactical sprint mantling anymore. Even the zip lines I can do without, but that's mostly because I'm mostly a build player. But regardless, guys, it's not just about what I think. As usual, let's take a look at what everybody else had to say. If you have not already liked the video, by the way, please hit like on the video, subscribe, comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on everything, guys. Let's take a look at what everybody had to say. Brandy Builds had this to say: will we still have sprinting and mantling? I think the game would feel a bit slow without it. I know it's supposed to be accurate to OG, but it would make it feel better in my opinion. Yeah, now that we have sprinting and mantling, like I said, I feel like the game cannot go without it. And I don't know if anybody else feels the same way, but even if though, man, the only people that I could see wanting sprinting and mantling out of the game is the people who barely play Fortnite and will come back to Chapter 1, because of course, like, the tactical sprint took some time to get used to. Sliding, I don't know why I didn't mention sliding. Sliding is along with sprinting and mantling, just the new movement in general. Before you freak out, not the animations, although I still don't get the big deal behind them. I'm talking about the mechanics, tactical sprint, mantling, sliding, all of that stuff. Let's continue on to the next tweet. If you want Fortnite OG to feel like Fortnite OG, Calamity Jiggle Physics next. That's what I'm saying, man. Honestly, I know Fortnite will never do this, and I've always wanted Fortnite to take a route where it's like, hey, an 18+ game mode with emotes that only 18+ could see. I would love that, but man, every time somebody talks about this, I forget about it. And it'd be so funny if someone at Epic actually added that back in. Let's take a look at what Curry had to say. This is honestly so great to see. I have a feeling they're going full OG with just this announcement. I hope they commit to it and disable turbo builds while they're at it. For the full OG experience, I also hope they bring back shotgun sniping glitch. I don't recall what the shotgun sniping glitch was, but man, I don't know why I didn't think about that when I first started talking about this. Yes, I want turbo build removed. I want this to feel like Fortnite OG. Something I've always talked about is how the game would benefit from removing turbo build in some modes, or having a separate mode, having a different playlist, removing turbo build. This would make the game feel OG. You want everybody to build less? This is how you do it. This would be how the game actually was, and I love it without turbo build. I love just like having the old Fortnite gameplay where you go into a mountain, and because you can't spam build, you would build like forts. You bring the fort back into Fortnite, guys. Incredible. I hope to see a turbo build nerf, and as they go through the seasons, I don't remember exactly when it got added, if it was like season 3 or 4. Whenever they added it back, that's what I want them to do. I want to play a copy and paste of every single season all the way up to season X with no changes. I want everything to be overpowered. I want the double pump to be overpowered, and everybody when it comes back is going to cry and whine about it. Epic Games, don't you think it's a little unnecessary that people could kill me that fast with a pump shotgun? Like, yes, this is what you guys wanted, and that's what I want as well. Bring it back. Have it be overpowered. I want it to feel exactly how it did. George Most had this to say. Hey, Fortnite, do you remember Friendly Fire? It'd be a fun thing to bring it back. Oh my god. Dude, I need this. I never got to play back in the days of Friendly Fire, and I would have such a blast with my teammates with Friendly Fire on. Oh, I need it. I need it, Epic Games. Please bring back Friendly Fire. I would love it. I would love if they did this, guys. PQ had this to say. No, you guys should have waited till season 3. That's when we discovered the double pump. I get that. Honestly, I get that. And I know it's a little bit of a joke tweet, but at the end of the day, it was available in the game. So while people didn't use it back in the day, I still think that it should be added back to the game. Landon Does Stuff had this to say. I love to see this. It feels like Epic is going for that true OG vibe, and I'm hoping we might see no turbo build and no reboot. I never thought about no reboots. Anyways, until they come out in their respective seasons. W on Epic's part, and I hope that we get to see more things like these from OG. No reboots. Unfortunately, that's another thing that I would like them to keep around. The reboot vans. As funny as it was, like, I don't know if you guys have that. I'm sure that you guys do. Everybody, out of all your friends, when you come down and play Fortnite, you have that one friend that just sucks, and it's the funniest thing in the world that they die right when you land, and then they have to spectate you for the entire game. I thought that was hilarious, but at the end of the day, reboot bans is another one of those things that benefited the game so much that I don't think I would like to go back to a time where we didn't have reboot bans. And I get it. I get it again, guys. If you're pushing back at me saying, well, you don't actually want Fortnite OG, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. When I say I want to copy and paste, it's for the most part. And I know that we can get into it where it's like, everybody can have their own nitpicks where it's like, well, I want Fortnite OG except without double pump. I get it. That's basically what I'm doing. It's just, I can't help it. That's what I want. We still have a lot of tweets to take a look at, guys. We still have a lot of opinions to cover, but guys, I do want to pause you just for a second. Of course, we know the new season's coming up, and as you guys know, I started a family. I'm grinding so hard on YouTube right now in order to provide for them. I want to make it so my wife and my kid never have to work a day in their lives. That's the end goal with all of this. So if you guys do not have a supporter creator code you're using in the item shop, please consider using code Clen. This is what it's all for. The extra little boost you guys have been giving me over here means so much to me, and I cannot thank you enough for it. If you guys do not, again, have a supporter creator code you are using in the item shop, please consider using code Clen. You guys have been helping me so much reaching that goal. We're not there yet, but I hope to reach it there one day, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Let's continue on with all of the tweets. Boop had this to say. 2 weeks into OG and the casuals will complain about the sweats abusing this. You know this is gonna happen, and it's gonna drive me crazy. It's gonna drive me crazy. It's going to happen with so much that went wrong in chapter 1, and I'm gonna be sitting back here. I'm gonna be like, I told all of you so. I told all of you so. There was so much you hated about chapter 1. If we have it all brought back, chapter 1 season 5 is where the big issues began. The turrets, the spray meta, the P90. I'm not going to run you through the entirety of chapter 1, but man, it's so going to happen. The casuals are going to cry and whine about this. Not only about the sweats abusing double pump. The sweats are going to cry too about the casuals having their mounted turrets and things like that. I don't be sitting here and be like, I told you so. I always told you so. You guys are literally blinded by nostalgia for a lot of chapter 1. People were freaking out. You think the Fortnite community has been bad in chapter 5? It was worse in chapter 1. I personally always loved it. I thought the overpowered stuff was funny. I loved the wackiness of like having a giant turret mowing down absolutely everything in its path. things like that. I loved it, but the vast majority of the community did not love it. And I'm going to be sit here and I'm going to be only proven right within time. Let's continue on to the tweets. Overtime Gaming had this to say, now all we need is the old graphics. This I've always agreed with. If you're going back to Fortnite OG, I believe you should be bringing back the old graphics. As somebody who has Chapter 4 being their favorite graphics, I've loved Chapter 2 and Chapter 3s as well. I think if you're going back to Fortnite OG, you should bring back those old graphics. And I know that we're in a brand new engine. I don't know exactly how realistic of an approach this is. Regardless, do the best you can, Fortnite. If they're not exact, I'm not going to sit here and complain about it. Johnny Boy had this to say, if they're willing to bring back the double pump and the wall dynamos, I don't know what that is. Sorry, I'm not familiar with that. The wall dynamos? Maybe they'll bring back the Zapatron too, but that'd be really cool. Zapatron would be awesome. Now, I didn't play back when the Zapatron was added to the game, but I feel like it was only out of the game for a couple days. I could be wrong about that. Regardless, if that's what happened, then I want them to do that exact same thing. Have a day with the Zapatron. I know it might not have been a day, but you guys get the point that I'm talking about. Nostalgia Focus had this to say, Epic can make this perfect if they bring back the OG Scar sound too. Sounds, I'm all here for. Gun models, I don't get it. I need the old storm sounds. I need the old building sounds. That would be so peak, man. It's such a nostalgic thing. And something that I've always agreed that Fortnite OG really hit home was the old sounds. I liked the way they were. It's just, it might be nostalgia, but I still, at the end of the day, do prefer them to what we have today. Billboard Adden had this to say, this is so cool and all, but after a day, people are going to remember why it was removed in the first place. Again, completely accurate. Completely accurate. There was a reason why it was removed, and everybody's going to start whining and crying. What happened to Fortnite, man? This is not my OG. This is not the game that I fell in love with. What happened? It's like, everybody's better now, and you're only going to get destroyed even worse with the double pump, man. It's going to be insane. Sir Rifty had this to say, this is a cool thing, but I feel like this will be iffy for zero build. Season's 1 map is not open with, not much cover, and I think that the double shotgun meta won't work well in zero build. That's an interesting idea. I know that there's going to be issues with zero build. I know that. The map is very, very open. But once you get close, you can't even put up a wall for defense. So it's going to be pretty situational in my opinion. Obviously, it might be a thing where you need to carry 2 pumps and a scar, things like that, but I'm sure that the player base will figure it out. Let's continue on again though. RK4K had this to say about it. The players that Fortnite OG is trying to attract are the same ones who left because I think every Fortnite player is a 90 cracking pro. Double pump is going to push those people away again because it makes it easier for good players to play well. Very well said. If Epic Games is trying to capture the old Fortnite audience and want them to come back and play, they're going to need, to this point, like, they're going to be so out of touch with how good players have gotten that I honestly don't think that the double pump's going to make all that much of a difference because everybody's going to be just better in general. The double pump's certainly not going to help that, but what they're going to need to do is they're going to need to fill the lobbies with bots. And then players like us who have stuck with Fortnite for so long are going to get into these lobbies with bots, and they're going to be like, Epic Games, what's going on? Bots are the issue why I'm not enjoying Chapter 2 Remix as much as I actually could. Don't get me wrong, I'm loving it, but it's not as much as I hoped that I would love it, and bots are the problem for that. That's why I'm still attracted to Fortnite Reload right now. It's unfortunate, man, but it's what you need to do for these casual players. Cypher PK had this to say, since they're bringing back the double pump for Fortnite OG, they gotta let us fly around the map with the quad crashes again. We need this. We need this. Whenever they got added, I think it was around Season 4, Season 5, but that regardless, man. You need, and I also don't want to just fly around the map. I want to actually blast through houses like we did because all of a sudden the quad crashes just become useless with the nerfs over time. Again, I don't get what you've done with some things, Epic, but I want it to be exactly as it was. Let us fly around the map. Let us, when we hit our teammates, I want to see them go way up high in the sky, and I want them to take a bunch of fall damage. I want the game to be just like OG Fortnite, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Check out this video on screen right now if you want to continue watching. Like, speaking of Cypher PK, by the way, we talk about what exactly Prime Fortnite was. Take a look at that video, guys. Take care, everybody.